I found them about 4 years ago to a bridal show, and I saw a fantastic guest signing book, ring pillow, the pen, everything to match, and I thought, oh, fabulous product, I'll take that back to the UK for one of my brides. Shirt to one, loved it, and I then brought another one in for stock, and it's just grown. And from that, because obviously it's all through a retail basis, went back and made the connection with Weddingstar and said, how about taking this to the UK, to all the brides over there? And that's where we're at now.
How long are you in town?
I came over for the National Bridal Show at Toronto, Friday, Saturday, Sunday last week. I'm going back to do a wedding show in Sudbury this weekend, and then I'm doing the National Bridal Show back in Toronto. So I'm on the course of doing all the different wedding shows at the moment, here and in the UK.
Do you find it surprising? Because honestly, I find it a little surprising being from here that Medicine Hat is the headquarters for a place like this, that, you know, this kind of caliber of a wedding place that ships all over the world.
Because you need such, I mean, it's over 1,000 square feet, it's a huge distribution warehouse as well. And because it's all personalised and because you've got the magazine and everything, you need a lot of space. And to keep costs down, and you've got a fantastic facility here. And it can be anywhere because all they've got to do is ship.
Is it possible to have an amazing wedding on a small budget?
Sometimes brides have champagne ideas and a beer budget. And yes, they can get disappointed when they realise that they can't have the things they want. But also, I get very worried when it's almost like I'm having that, I'm having that, I'm having that, regardless of the cost. And then they do sit and add it all up, and they've gone into debt. And to start off married life with the debt of one day's wedding, which is going to carry through for the next 5 or 6 years, you're still paying off for that day just because you wanted that $1,000 cake because nothing else would do. I sometimes question it.
Yeah, yeah. What if you had 3 pieces of advice that you could give somebody just starting out planning their wedding? What would they be?
Book me. Book a wedding planner. Or I've just brought out, because from the show I was swamped with brides saying to me, I want a board. Jane, how do I get a board? Board I write on and I make them a plan.
Mm-hmm.
So I've just launched at the last National Bridal Show a board with 160 headings on that they can plan their wedding. By getting a bride not to keep making lists on bits of paper, and to get rid of that bride file that she carries around with her, to have that up on the wall so that the bridegroom, mum, bridesmaids, everyone can see what she's trying to achieve and say, do you want help with this? It's that, not this bits of paper, because if you lose 2 bits of paper, you don't even know what's on the pieces of paper, you don't even know what you've lost. That's where the SOS is. So 1 is plan. 2 is have a plan A and a plan B for everything, so that nothing can go wrong. And 3, budget it. Stay on budget. And how do you work out how much to spend on something? Sit round the table with mum and dad if they're contributing, his mum and dad, and have a family meeting and say, okay, this is what we've got to pay for. Here's the hall. Here's the photographer, florist, cake, video, dress, suits, gifts, everything, the whole list. And if I said to you, okay, the photograph's going to be $5,000, you're going to spend $5,000 on a photographer? No. 3. No. 2. Okay, so put it on there. And then don't go and see $5,000 photographers. Because that's who you'll book, because that's where you'll go. And when you're sitting with someone and saying, okay, how much are you going to spend on your flowers? Guys will have a completely different view to what you'll have. But if you've been to a florist and said, look, I need my bouquet, 3 bridesmaids, corsages, boutonnieres, centerpieces, presentation bouquet, whatever, how much will that come to? If they say to you $8,000, you can go, no. Well, what is acceptable to you? How much are you willing to pay for that? $1,600. Okay, so put it in there. So when you're talking to the florist and you say, and my budget is $1,600. So that way, when you add it all up and you get to the bottom figure and you divide it by the amount of guests that are coming to your wedding, you know how much each guest is costing you to come to your wedding. So sometimes when you're saying, how big is this guest list going to be, it'll help you choose numbers.